Wow. The Army finally gets a break about their toxic leadership, and now the Air Force. Let's check this out. I just want to share how my leadership handled my depression and suicide attempt after our resiliency tactical pause. So I've struggled with depression for quite some time now, and I've been open about it with my leadership. 3 weeks ago, I attempted to hurt myself using an item that I took from our clinic. The next day, I was 7 minutes late for work. My supervisor found out about the incident and brought me to the ER. I was sent to a psychiatric facility and where I stayed for a week. I never heard anything from my leadership the entire time I was there. After a week of being there, my supervisor and my first shirt came into the facility, but not to visit me. They came there to give me a LOC for being late and LOR for stealing an item in the clinic, and I never heard anything from them after that incident. Never even asked me how am I doing after I was discharged. By the way, if you guys don't know, and you work in the clinic or anywhere, I'm not saying it's good to steal or take stuff. I'm just like, people have been doing this for years, not to do this kinds of things. It's very common practice, especially people that work around the supplies that are corpsmen, even like myself, where people are using supplies in order to be able to go on operations, give an IV while they're out in the field and stuff like that. Having this in your house is really not that big of a deal, I would say, for most people. Also, if you want to look at the stealing of government property, go check your house right now for one of those great Skillcraft pens that have been created by blind people, you ungrateful assholes. I'm sure I have one in this room right now. It was reported to flight leadership that you stole an IV catheter needle on blank from the blank. Specifically, Tech Sergeant blank received text messages and calls from you that night detailing that you took the item from work and used it at home. He referenced you saying that you stuck the item in your arm with the intent to bleed out. Now, I'm not an expert as far as like how fast someone bleeds out. You got 5 to 6 liters. I don't know if you're going to be able to bleed out anything or make any true difference with an IV catheter in that time period. I doubt that's the case. You'd be found at some point most likely. And obviously this was a cry for help. And literally that just baffles me that that first paragraph should have been like, is this the right thing to do right now? Probably not. You are hereby reprimanded. Theft will not be tolerated in our flight or in the United States Air Force. This is a clear violation of our core values of integrity first. Any future misconduct may result in more severe action. You had nothing else better to do besides the person that is admitted to a psychiatric facility that you have not visited in the entire week, that you have not even concerned with how they're doing, which I don't think they would allow you to, but at least had some kind of interaction with them before giving this piece of paper even to say, hey, we tried to call. Hey, they wouldn't let us talk to you. Whatever it is, because I do respect there needs to be a barrier between leadership impeding on the service members' well-being and also the staff that are treating them. But I have to say, at least before giving him this, would have said something to that effect of, hey man, we've tried. Observation has disclosed that this morning blank you did not arrive on time for duty and failed to notify me as your supervisor. Specifically, Major blank witnessed you entering the facility at 07:37 hours when the duty day began at 07:30. We discussed communication on 20 August 2019. Wait. 28 August 2019. We don't have a date on this. I don't know when this occurred in relation to his visit to the hospital to be seen. But if you're talking about a year and a half ago, you must not be married, because I would be insanely pissed off at you if you were referencing a late period from a year and a half ago. Does anybody in this unit get a break? Does anybody? I would be out of the military if this was my unit. During the feedback session regarding your appointments, I specifically told you that it's critical that I'm made aware of your whereabouts during the duty day. That was a direct violation of this conversation. When asked if there was a reason why you were late or if there was anything I needed to know prior to issuing this paperwork, you stated no. You are hereby counseled per our previous discussion. When you do not arrive on time for your assigned duties and fail to notify the chain of command, it negatively impacts the mission. You are expected to be on time every duty day. If a situation occurs that would would prohibit you from arriving on time, it is expected that you notify me and the flight chief prior to being late. You're an important part of the team, and it's vital that you perform your job as a blank. And as a blank, any future misconduct may result in more severe action. Well, I'm so glad he's so vital to you that you're able to write that in this paper, how vital he is to complete the mission, but you're not going to do that over phone. You're not going to show up and say, hey man, how are you doing? By the way, these guys are healthcare professionals if they work in the clinic. These are people that are supposed to be like the tiniest, easiest bit of compassion at all. And literally we see zero, zip, nada. Don't get me wrong. There's obviously theft that happened. If you want to write somebody up for stealing stuff, you better start writing people up for more dumb stuff like those Skillcraft pens. But also, let's look at the lateness. I understand late, being tardy is not something that's excusable. Both need to be understood that they are not tolerated if that's how you run your shop. On the other side, there's a right time and a right place to give someone administrative paperwork. This guy's probably your 90% of your work goes to this guy messing up, screwing up, not doing what he's supposed to. You're a leader. You're supposed to adapt to different people that you have in your unit, in your shop, wherever you work at. It sucks. And as you move up the ranks, you got to get better at it. And that sucks because there's people that just don't even care and you have to deal with them. I have been there. I respect it. I know the struggle. Don't worry. A lot of the information is redacted from these documents, which don't show a lot to give context. But I will let you know right now that this is sadly not to protect the tech sergeant that wrote this at all. You know who it's probably there to protect? The person making the complaint and having to deal with maybe some reprisal. And even some of the comments like Philip Lorenzen here says, screw the redaction, put those assholes on blast. Yeah, because maybe something would come from it. And by the way, it looks like there has been stuff that's been coming from it because our favorite senior enlisted person, Bass, I don't know what it is, we're forgetting now. Looks like she is now on this and is now looking into this. Obviously, there is some context missing, but I am going to assure you the military is pretty small where they're going to find out where this came from. Chris Meyer says, can we all take a note here that they were more concerned about the theft of something as petty as a needle and skipped right over the part where it was going to be used to attempt taking his life? Yeah, you make a good point, Chris, but some people don't have that thought process, have never dealt with mental issues, difficulties, whatever it is. If this was this holiday, I don't even know what to say. Are you Scrooge? Are you somebody that just can't handle the holidays? And my favorite comment from all of this comes from Ben Atwell. Why don't airmen think they can talk to us? Yeah, this is why. This is an issue that we're facing. This is where you have to be approachable. And now my question is, what are other people that are going to have issues deal with? If they took medication from something they were prescribed by the doctor and they were like, let me just take all of it. And then you're going to say, that's abuse, written up counseling, non-judicial punishment. That's not what we need right now. Now, if you run your shop where you're going to write every person up every single time and you're going to be a paper mill, go for it all freaking day. You're going to be busy. But if you cannot do this back and forth, have a simple conversation, I'm sorry, your days as a leader are going to be very numbered. Actually, I want to say no, because for some reason you guys end up making it anyway. And that's where I get to this part of the video where I ask you guys, what is one of the most tasteless things you've seen one of your leaders do at your command or prior commands where you've been very distraught and seen some of the nastiness that can come out? I'd love to see them down below because you guys obviously do have some great stories. But as always, if you guys do have questions about this or anything else, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.